Okay, welcome back to the Byrons World podcast. We're joined by Aiden. Again, who you've seen on the Sunday League Football Manager, and we also do the weekly show together, the Speculate to Accumulate. But this week, we're going to do a podcast on the Premier League prediction for the 2019 to 2020 season. We're going to be running through the top six, the bottom three, a bit of transfers here and there, and a load of stuff in between. So, we're going to go straight in to top six predictions. Do you want to go first or shall I?
I'll let you go.
Right, so my top six this year are as follows. I'm going to start at sixth. So in sixth place this year, I predict Chelsea. The main reasoning behind this is because they had the transfer ban. Lampard's just come in, replacing Sarri, but I don't think... he's got no Premier League experience, has he? He did a half decent job at Derby last season.
Yeah,
but I think there's levels between champion. But that was his first job in management as well.
I'm not convinced he's ready either.
No, I think he's come in just on the basis that he's a Chelsea.
It's a sentimental move, isn't it?
He's a Chelsea legend.
He's going to be a yes man for a couple of years until they get someone else.
Well, yeah.
Or if he's good enough, he stays, doesn't he? But...
yeah, well, they've signed Kovacic, but I think that must have been in the loan clause.
Yeah, it was. They had when they signed him, I think they had like 2 more days to make the move.
Yeah, so I think they've only signed him just so they've got somebody else on the books. Losing Eden Hazard, I think, he was Chelsea, wasn't he? Really,
he carried him and carried their attack, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, who've they got in attack now? They've got Giroud, Willian,
Pedro.
How old's Pedro now? He must be 33.
Hudson-Odoi, who's injured. Tammy Abraham.
He was on Villa.
He was at Villa
on loan last season. He did do well.
Batshuayi.
Is he back there?
I think so.
I know they recalled 30. I think it was 13 lads, weren't it? Half of fucking Europe have come back to Chelsea, but yeah, they've had to recall all these loanees and losing Hazard and Lampard being the manager. I can't see them finishing any higher than 6. So I've gone 6th place. I have gone with Chelsea. 5th place are going to be my beloved Manchester United.
It's improvement.
It is improvement. We're building from the back. I think Maguire coming in, Wan-Bissaka coming in. They are 2 positive moves. I think Luke Shaw can push on, and I think he will push on now. Smalling and Jones are still there. A lot of people slag off Chris Smalling, and a lot of the time it is rightly so. But
I think Smalling's adequate enough backup.
Yeah, there's a centre half in him though, isn't there?
He's an adequate enough backup, and he's not going to be challenging Maguire and Lindelof for a starting spot, is he? But
no, and Eric Bailly getting injured, that's quite a blow as well. People forget how many centre halves we've actually got. Lindelof, in my opinion, probably was our best player last season. Pogba won it for some bizarre reason. He did it first half of the season, was all right, but until that 12-game winning streak died, then he started going off the boil, having tantrums and stuff. But there's a lot of things online about Pogba. People saying that he's moody in training and stuff like that, but then he always gets backed up. He went on pre-season. He did all the pre-season. I think it's just rumours just because of the name of him.
There's no guarantee that he doesn't transfer before the end of August either, with the European window still open. Well,
no. We're recording this, by the way, a day after the window's closed. So this is Friday the 9th of August. But yeah, so building from the back, looking all right. My problem is United's midfield now is far too passive. Our most consistent midfielder of last season, Ander Herrera, we've let him go because the board didn't want to improve his wages, which he wanted, and rightfully so. If it wasn't a completely ludicrous deal, we were just wanting a few more quid. They should have thrown money at him. A lot of people against, a handful of people against that, saying bringing his age into it and stuff. But in my opinion, he was our most consistent midfielder. Take Pogba out of that midfield, like I said to you before the pod started. You take Pogba out of that midfield, it's scary. It really, really is scary what could happen there. Other people going out. Lukaku, he's gone out. We've not replaced him with another striker. A lot of people are talking about Mason Greenwood The kid's 17 years old.
You really want
to put that much pressure on a 17-year-old?
It worked for Rashford. Maybe he's flatlined since, but when he first came into the side, there were no stopping him.
Well, yeah, he was very hungry. But I always look at Michael Owen. When did he burn out? 26, 27? He was finished, weren't he?
He was, as he were moving abroad, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was finished. Right, he came back to Newcastle and had somewhat success. He came to United, didn't he? He scored in the derby. He was worth he was a free transfer for United. He was worth every penny just for that fucking derby goal. I'll never forget that. It was brilliant. But yeah, so Lukaku, he's not been replaced either. Like I said, midfield too passive for me. I could go on a huge rant about Woodward and the Glazers, but I don't think I will.
I think that's for another day.
Yeah. There's just a lot of deadwood still there, Aiden. I think there's been deadwood at United for the past 4 or 5 years now. Players I would have got rid of 4 or 5 years ago, and they're still there. It's not been addressed. It's like the board and Woodward. It's like they don't care. So for that reason, I've picked them in fifth. I can't see it. I think if United finish top 4, I'd be very surprised. 4th place, I've gone for Arsenal. Pepe coming in, Sabia, Luiz, Tierney. It's a good rebuild. We're gonna get on to who had the best window in a little while. But you should be better. I'm saying you because Aiden's an Arsenal fan. You should be better next season. I'm quite confident that you will make top 4 in 4th place anyway. Unai Emery's 2nd season now, isn't it? So he's had time as well.
The final season of his contract, so the pressure's on him as well. It was only give 2 years.
Oh, was he?
With an optional 3rd.
Right. See, I didn't know that.
So he has to perform this year, in my opinion.
Going forward, when you signed Pepe, I said, yeah, you still got to pay for defence. But now David Luiz, Prem proven,
experienced.
Yeah, on his day he can be a bit of a div, can't he?
Well, he's got an error in him, but he's better than what we have at the minute.
Yeah. So at the back, you've got Tierney there as well. I know he's only young though, isn't he?
22.
He's old enough.
He's injured for the first few weeks of the season as well.
Is he?
He's had a double hernia operation or something stupid like that.
So you've at the back, you're not so bad either now. So I think you are a top 4 side. Wouldn't surprise me if you could sneak 3rd either, but I've put Arsenal in 4th. Finishing in 3rd, I think this season will be Tottenham. They looked good last season, and they've added Ndombele and Lo Celso. He made it over the line in the end, didn't
he?
Yeah. 2 decent signings there. Sessegnon as well. Last season for Fulham in the Premier, he didn't. I was expecting him to come in because the season before in the Championship, I was really impressed with him.
Apart, didn't he?
Yeah,
he's still a young kid.
Yeah, he's still getting used to the pace and everything of the Premier, the physicality. He'll come into it. He's only 18 years old.
Yeah, he's only a kid.
So transfers coming in for Spurs. I think they've done some good business. Levy's actually put his hand in his pocket for once. You fucking probably hate this because you're an Arsenal fan. Kieran Trippier going out though, I think that could be a huge miss. It was kind of like I think it was kind of like just because it was done quite early to Atletico Madrid, kind of like brushed under the carpet. But I think he could be a miss for Spurs.
See, I know a couple of Spurs fans and they're not too bothered about him going. They seem to really rate this Kyle Walker-Peters. They were turning down bids from Palace and stuff, so they obviously rate him. They've still got Sergio Aurier, and I'm pretty sure that Moussa Sissoko could do a good job at fullback.
He's a utility man, isn't he? Have you ever seen one, that man? So yeah, 3rd place, I'm going to go Spurs. 2nd place, I'm going to go with Liverpool. I think I've put on here there's no signings. I know they've signed a couple of lads, didn't they? But like
a couple of kids,
spent
youngest Premier League player ever.
Spent a few pence, didn't they? Which that's all it was, pence. The side is decent all the way through. Liverpool squad, I think it is a decent side. Squad depth isn't too bad, I don't think, but
I still think they're an injury to Salah or Mane away from dropping down maybe a spot in the league.
Yeah, it's a 3rd. Well, I was saying about 3rd and 4th with Arsenal and Spurs, and that I could have put Arsenal at 3rd. I could have put Spurs at 2nd as well, but I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Liverpool because I think they'll have a lot of momentum going into this season. But City, they're going to be top spot again for me. They're forever strengthening. Cancelo is a great signing. proper right back there. Their defence now, it's scary. I don't think they'll ship too many goals this season. They've also brought in Rodri. I don't know much about, but Pep Guardiola, he's a Spanish bloke, this Rodri lad. And Guardiola signed him, so I'm quite confident he'll be a good player. If Guardiola spending 62.5 million, was it, on him?
I like to watch a lot of Atletico. He's a good midfielder.
Yeah. So it's more, they've strengthened again there in the midfield and in the defence. Angelino, don't know much about him. Was he in the Mexican league, something like that?
He was at PSV.
Oh, a PSV lad?
Yeah.
Ah, so he's coming as well. Last season, we all know they looked very, very strong. I'd be surprised if they didn't do it again.
No.
Be 3 in a row. It'll kill me. 3 in a row, City. But you got to hold your hands.
They've every chance of getting 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. As a United fan, you've got to hold your hands. You get a few bit United fans who are like, oh no, they're not as great as they think they are. But I really do think they are. I think they are the bee's knees. I think they'll do the business again. So that's going to be my top 6. So quick recap. In 6th, I've gone Chelsea. 5th, United. 4th, Arsenal. 3rd, Tottenham. 2nd, Liverpool. And top of the pops, 1st place, I think, will be Manchester City.
Well, it's going to sound somewhat like an echo in here now. I've got a very similar top 6 with very similar notes about it. So in 6th place, I've got Chelsea. I think losing David Luiz isn't necessarily a huge blow to the starting team, but it leaves them only Zuma and Christensen as fit starting centre-backs with Rudiger out injured. So I think that puts a lot of pressure on Tomori that Frank Lampard had at Derby last season.
Yeah.
So I think that, and then obviously losing Hazard in the attack,
it's a major blow.
I think it's just such a big weakness to the team now.
Like I said before with Pedro's getting on. I'm sure he's like 32, 33 years old.
He's going to be playing more often than not with Hudson-Odoi injured.
Yeah. They are a couple of injuries away from being in real trouble.
They're a couple of injuries away from falling out of the top 6.
Well, yeah. You look at the other side.
You've got your Evertons and your Watfords and your Wolves that were close. And
yeah.
They've all strengthened again. In 5th place, I've got Man United as well. I think they finally bought a good centre-back partner for Lindelof and a very good Ashley Young replacement in Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I'm not convinced they're going to have the firepower, though, to compete with the top 4 this season when they're going forward. Again, they're only an injury away from not scoring any goals, really.
Yeah.
In 4th place, this might be a little biased, but I'm going for Tottenham in 4th. I think they've had a very impressive window, though. They've finally got the Moussa Dembele replacement in Tanguy and Ndombele. But I do think right back could be a problem I'm hoping Kyle Walker-Peters doesn't have such an impressive start, or Aurier, who is a big Arsenal fan, so hopefully he does an inside job on us.
Is he an Arsenal fan? Yeah,
there's pictures all over the internet of him in Arsenal shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
In 3rd place, I've got Arsenal. I think we've had a fantastic window. We've bought, ideally, I'd have preferred a different centre-back option, but I'm happy with the one we've got. Tierney is strengthening in our weak left-back area. Nicolas Pepe, obviously, going forward, I'm more than happy with us to solidify top 4, and I think we'll get 3rd. Liverpool, I don't think they're going to match last season's efforts in terms of a title push, but I do think they're going to get 2nd place. I just don't understand why they've not gone for a creative midfielder or Philip Coutinho being offered on loan, and Liverpool haven't gone and to take him.
I thought he was going to go there.
It was made for it, and I just don't believe that you can win league titles with 3 workhorses in midfield and no footballer.
No.
I'm not suggesting that they're bad footballers.
No.
Naby Keita, Wijnaldum, Milner, they're not bad footballers, but
Henderson. Out of all the names you've mentioned, I prefer Henderson out of a lot of them.
But Henderson tends to be in the workhorse category. He's not necessarily the most gifted of footballers.
He can ping. He can do it.
He's got a lot better.
His diags are good.
He's got a lot better in the last couple of years, and I do like him.
Since the World Cup, but It's
not just like necessarily last season. I thought before we went to the World Cup, he played well.
See,
this is going to turn into a ramble about Henderson.
well, I said to you the other day about Jordan Henderson before the World Cup, the last World Cup. I really didn't rate him. I was like, what is everyone seeing in this lad? Because I didn't see it, and I was watching a lot of games. You know what you're featuring in. You know, watching Match of the Day.
It just keeps it ticking,
and yeah,
he never stops the ball.
When he was playing in the World Cup, I thought, what a fucking grafter. And when we had Croatia in the semi-final, he just burnt himself out in that first half, didn't he? Because he was putting his heart was on his sleeve. He was back to front to back, and he was knackered second half. It got to like 60th, 70th minute. I was like, oh, he's knackered. He's fucking knackered, poor lad. But yeah, I think he's there. Dare I say it? One of the
most important midfielders.
Well, yeah, he's the club captain, isn't he?
Yeah, but like I say, I just don't think they've got a naturally gifted midfielder. Coutinho, Ozil, Christian Eriksen,
De Bruyne.
I think that's what they're missing.
Yeah, lacking.
I think if they have that, then they put on another title push this season. But with City strengthening, obviously, again, they've strengthened defensively. They've brought in the Fernandinho replacement in Rodri. They've brought in Cancelo, who can play at either full-back. If he plays right back, Kyle Walker could go centre-half with Laporte. I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, I think that Cancelo, it'll be comfortable if they played a 3 as well and he was playing, 3/back 5. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Walker now is going to shift into the centre-half role, ain't he?
I think so. I just don't think Guardiola trusts John Stones enough to play with Laporte.
Fucking hell. I don't trust John Stones enough and I'm a United fan.
So that's my top 6. So recap, I've got Chelsea 6th, United 5th, Spurs 4th, Arsenal 3rd, Liverpool 2nd and Man City top of the league.
Back to what you were saying about Liverpool, you can't see them really replicating what they did last season. I really don't think this season will go down to that one game, because there was that one game, wasn't it? It was the one game difference, and I don't think it'll be that close this year.
I think that City have a good chance of winning it by 9 points or so again this year, like they did the year before.
They won it by Christmas the year before. Saying that though, that was a freak season. United was second place. I think we had 82 points, 81, 82 points.
That probably wins 13 out of the 20 or whatever.
Yeah. That usually wins the leagues. And what Mourinho was saying, I'm touching on United a little bit again now. Mourinho said his greatest achievement in football was finishing second with that United side. At the time, I was like, he's just bigging himself up again. I believe that now. Look, do you know what I mean? And I do feel a bit sorry for Ollie because he's whatever. We'll go for best business. I think the team in the Premier League who did the best business this season was Arsenal. As I mentioned when I was doing my top 6 prediction, they've strengthened in all the places that they had to. And Arsenal fans have been screaming out for this for fucking years now.
I'm enjoying this so
years
much.
And years. I'm fucking hating it. You've been screaming out for a window like this for years and years and years. And I think it was all kind of like smoke and mirrors when they said they only had 45 million to spend. I think that was just
I think the media plucked it out of the air. As soon as this new regime took over last season, they said, them that know don't speak, and them that speak don't know. They don't let any secrets out of the Arsenal camp. There's no way on earth we've leaked anything about our transfer budget.
No.
The media have seen that we've missed out on the Europa League and they're going to struggle. What they've spent in the past when they've struggled, they've spent about 40 million.
Yeah.
Let's pluck something out of the air and go somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I do think that's what they've done.
So the players you've bought in, I thought were brilliant. Like I said to you before the pod, Alex Iwobi for fucking £40 million. That has got to be the best sale in English football.
Is that Arsenal's most expensive sale ever?
I didn't really rate him. He'll do all right at Everton.
He's a really
not a
good
top 4 player.
He's a really good running player with the ball. He'll drive at players. He'll beat his man, but he just freezes.
Is he a top 4 player?
No,
I don't think he is either.
Not yet. I think there's still. I do think he's still got room for improvement, and I do think he will improve. But there's a lot of people at Arsenal that said all the way through his youth career he played in the number 10 role. Yet when he got to the seniors, Wenger moved him out wide to the left. So if Everton can play him in that number 10, like Nigeria play him in the 10 as well, If they can play him in there and get a tune out of him, then
in behind St. Torson.
No, Moise Keane now.
Yeah, well, yeah, they got Moise Keane.
They got rid of Torson, didn't they?
No, he's still there.
Oh, does he?
I was doing my fantasy team before. I seen he was one of the options and he didn't have a question mark over him. I'll tell you one thing though. You're an Arsenal fan. Do you know what I've not really seen on Twitter and everything? But what I was seeing a lot of at the end of last season. Now the window's gone your way. Where are all these cranky outs gone? Where are they all gone now?
Well,
Where are all these hashtags now? Cranky out.
You can check my Twitter. Mine never had any of that.
Do they all like him now? Have you seen many? You must follow a few
I
gooners
follow a
as
lot of
well.
Arsenal accounts, and this.
Those morning now, are they?
The Arsenal fan base set up I say a hashtag, but it was a bit of a. I don't know how to word it, but they set up a bit of a campaign kind of thing, and it was called the We Care Do You. All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, we've spent 72 million on Nicolas Pepe. So it proves they do.
Yeah,
but I don't think they're really doing it in a response to that campaign sort of thing.
What are your brief thoughts on Stan Kroenke? You think he's just been a tight arse in the past, and now he's starting to realise if he doesn't?
No, we're a self-sustaining football club. 100% of our money stays at our club. Whether it gets used for wages or it gets used for transfers, how can you sign these mega money players when you're tying Ozil and Sanchez up? Well, Sanchez never signed it in the end, but on £350,000 a week contracts, when you can only raise your wage bill $7 million a year by your financial fair plays. What's 7 million? About 180 grand a week.
Yeah.
So that includes all your incomings. So you've then got to sell just to give Ozil this price, this wage boost.
Yeah.
So I just think we were rampoling in behind. We've now brought in Raul Sanelli and a new, not chairman, but
I've seen a video of one of your fans mobbing his car. We love you, Raul. Have you seen that?
Yeah. They're on about trying to. There's a campaign from fans now trying to get a statue of him outside stadium. It's a bit of a joke, but But this has been a great summer for us, I think, and I agree that we've had the best transfer window.
Yeah,
I do think it was closer. I do think Tottenham have been very impressive in the window.
Yeah, they've made a few good signings. Worst window, worst business.
See, I've ruled out Chelsea on mine.
That's why I've put a slash.
Yeah,
Chelsea, obviously, because of the transfer.
I've ruled out Chelsea with the transfer embargo.
I've gone for. I sound like a stereotypical fucking red here, but I've gone for United just because of the midfield thing. Pogba Pogba tantrum /
transfer
/ injury away from being such a poor midfield. I think McTominay will kick on, but I just think it's a massive. What if he gets injured as well? Do you know what I mean? There's nothing else there. It wouldn't surprise. Matic is getting on now. Don't get me wrong; he's been a great footballer in the past, and I still believe he can do a job. Holding now, just as the anchor, just in front of the back four. I think he can still do that job now, but he's not got the box to box. He's not got the legs for box to box football, and I think that's what Ollie's going to. He's going to be wanting to play the old United way, the fast football, counter-attacking football. Right, he can ping one from the back, Matic, but he hasn't really got the legs. I just think I don't understand why we've not bought in a central midfielder. I really don't. But yeah, so I'm going to put the worst business down to United. I get it that he's trying to build from the back, as I mentioned before. He's building from the back, right? The back four looks all right now. Do you know what I mean? Back four probably is a top four back four in my opinion, but it's just the midfield that's going to let us down. It really is going to let us down. It's so passive. I can't see what's going to happen with that midfield this season. So yeah, I'm going to go for United for having. I say worst window. We've spent a lot of money. That's not the problem. I'm saying worst window.
Because you've not signed what you necessarily needed.
Yeah, Arsenal have addressed where they need. We've addressed the centre back, yeah. We've addressed the full back, yeah. But we've not addressed our midfield.
You've not got your Lukaku replacement,
and there's no replacement for Lukaku. So a couple of injuries. Imagine if Rashford and Martial gets injured. We're fucked. I'm telling you.
You're then playing Chong and Mata out wide.
Yeah, Juan Mata, I'm telling you, after about 5 games, Juan Mata's going to be on that right-hand side. I am telling you. Same as last season. I was screaming the same thing at the start of last season. Why is Juan Mata still playing at right wing? I think he can still do a job at number 10, but he's not got the legs. He didn't have the legs 2 seasons ago to be a right winger. No. So what makes you think two seasons after? So yeah, I've gone for United. What about you?
I've gone for Liverpool.
Oh, yeah.
I just really can't get my head around it. Like I touched before, that they've not signed a creative midfielder. Obviously, the defence is fantastic. The goalkeeper's fantastic. Their attack, they score goals for fun. Yeah, if they had a creative midfielder last season, a De Bruyne and Eriksen and Ozil, I say Ozil, he had a very poor season last season. But
Ozil.
That style of player, like I say, Coutinho, Liverpool probably win that league. They probably don't lose the game they did.
Yeah.
Was it City away? They lost?
Well, there were a couple where they dropped points.
Yeah, well, I think they drew 8 games.
They drew with our reserves 0-0.
Yeah,
watching that Tenerife, pissed myself.
They drew something like 8 games in the end, didn't they? And they probably pick up the extra points there, and they win the league.
Did Leicester took points as well? That's the picture. Did you see where Maguire signed for United?
They drew 1-1 with us, where they were 1-0 up, and they deserved to win that day. But
yeah,
I just think a creative midfielder would have won them the league last year, and I thought they'd have seen it this year and thought City haven't really strengthened the attack.
No.
So I thought that would be the big chance.
As an Arsenal fan, do you like to see him not do well, Liverpool?
Everybody likes to see Liverpool not do well.
They just got upset. Do you know, the thing is with me is the old Scouse not English thing. It really, really annoys me.
I think the majority is the area we live. Obviously, living in the northwest, there's a lot of Liverpool fans around here. And
they're booing the national anthem, the Charity Shield. It's pathetic.
It's terrible.
Honestly, we're Scouse not English. No, fuck off. So there are.
Anyway, we can cut round them and just send them out to sea on their own. Then
we'll just give them independence.
Just send them back to Ireland.
Oh, fucking hell! And all from Ireland. Best signing. I've got 3 here. I'm just going to quickly. I've already spoke about Cancelo for City. I think that was a great signing. Pepe for Arsenal. I think he will be a great signing, but let's not forget he's come from the Just Eats Farmers League. But yeah, he did tear it up last season. I'd be very with Arsenal's style of play. I think he's gonna fit in great. For value, I think Wan-Bissaka, when we're saying Iwobi for 40 million, Wan-Bissaka at, what was it, 49 million, and 45, 50 million in the end. I just think he's a great fullback. Going forward as well, he's going to suit the United style of play. If we do play, like I said before, the old United, the United of old, down the wings, plenty of goals, counter-attacking football. I think he's got a lot of assists in him next season. So yeah, Cancelo, Pepe and Wan-Bissaka for me. They're my top 3 signings who I think will excel at the clubs.
I've just gone for the one best signing. I've gone for Tanguy Ndombele to Tottenham. Like I mentioned before, he's the perfect Moussa Dembele replacement, and I think he's he's the player that's going to carry Tottenham this season. Especially if they lose Eriksen, this ball carrier from the midfield is going to be so important to them.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll go for most underrated signing now. I've gone for Sebastian Haller, who came from Frankfurt, who West Ham have signed. They've spent. I was surprised how much they spent on him. To be honest with you, I didn't realise it was like between 45 and 50 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to judge as an underrated signing when the transfer fee's so high.
Well, yeah, but 15 goals in 29 games last season for Frankfurt with 9 assists as well. I'd really do. I fancy if he can be firing this year.
You've got great service out wide as well, West Ham, with Felipe Anderson, Yarmolenko.
Exactly. And then you've got like Lanzini in behind him as well. I reckon they're going to be a top 8 side this season, at least, West Ham.
I've got 10 teams that are top 8 sides this year.
Honestly, I think this season in the Premier League, I think it's going to be. It's very unpredictable.
Yeah.
I think the ones who I have named the typical top 6 there, as of you. But I think one of them could drop out, and
Chelsea could easily drop out there if they don't perform.
I think one of them sides can sneak in. A lot of people argue about Everton, but I don't know.
I still think they're too weak at the back, Everton.
Yeah, they've had these kind of windows before where they spent all this money and now it's happened.
I do think they've had some great business, but I do still think they're that little bit too weak at the back. They need a partner for Michael Keane.
Yeah, I agree.
Desperately.
Jags has gone back to Sheffield United, hasn't he?
Is that where he's gone?
Jagielka, yeah. Well, back to his boyhood club. He was most underrated signing for you.
Jose Perez, Newcastle to Leicester.
Oh yeah, he did go Leicester, didn't he?
£30 million. It doesn't sound like it can be really an underrated transfer, but he's going to play as a second striker up front with Vardy, or just in behind Vardy. He finished last season out on fire for Newcastle. Probably the difference in them staying up and going down.
Yeah.
Like I say, he's going to be creating chances for Vardy. He's going to be tucking chances away from Maddison, Tielemans, Chilwell.
Yeah.
Pereira. I just think he's going to be great for Leicester this year. I think it's a great signing.
Yeah, a decent side with Brendan Rodgers there as well. I think they could do well. We'll quickly drop down the table now to the bottom three. I'm going to go. I don't think Sheffield United are going to stay up, so I've gone Sheffield United to go down. I just don't think they've really strengthened enough to be a Premier League side next season. Brighton, I think there was if it wasn't for the other teams being as bad last season, I think they were gone. I think they just about ragged it. And Norwich, I've gone for Norwich to go back down as well. Again, don't see them. I've not seen them sign many players. Well, I've got, do you know what I mean? So quickly, that was my quick bottom three. I was going to put Newcastle in there, but I've got a weird feeling.
I think they've had a great last few days.
Yeah, well, they have. Yeah, as long as they can keep the dressing room, keep the morale up in the camp. I think Andy Carroll can get 10-15 from this season.
He's not going to be starting, is he? He's going to be on the bench.
Yeah, but if he hits a bit of form, I think sneak in there.
I think that Joe Linton will be a good signing for them.
Well, yeah. And that Maxim as well from where was it Montpellier? No, it was a French side. Leo,
I'm not sure where they've signed him from anyway.
Somewhere in France.
My bottom three, I'm going for Aston Villa. I just think they've made too many signings, a bit similar to Fulham last season.
Yeah.
If they need a gelling in period, then they're in big trouble and they can be too far adrift.
Yeah.
I've got Brighton. Again, I thought they were very lucky last season, same as you, to stay up. And I've gone for Norwich. I've kept Sheffield United up basically on, I think they've done better transfer business than Norwich. And I think they've got the better manager.
Yeah.
Just to keep them in the Prem. Not necessarily the better manager overall, but I think to keep them in the Prem, they've got the right man at the wheel.
Yeah.
So that's my three to go down.
My surprise, we're going to go on surprise packages now. I've gone for Aston Villa. I think they're going to surprise a few people this season. They've bought in Heaton, Mings, Engels, just to name a few.
Like you've just mentioned Mings. I have it down here as a worst signing in the window. Just
because of the price, though.
Yeah, not necessarily the standard of player, not at all. But £27 million for a player that was average to good in the Championship last season.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Aston Villa finished 5th in the Championship last season. It's not like they finished 3rd and deservedly went up.
Yeah. No, I do understand where you're coming from.
They paid £27 million to Bournemouth for his services. Not for me, that.
But then again, I'm going to go back to fucking Mr. Iwobi. He's gone for 40 mil. It's one of them, isn't it? But I think Jack Grealish, he's played in the Premier League before. He went down with him, didn't he? But he was a kid then, weren't he?
He was, yeah.
I think he'll kick on this season. He's the Villa captain as well, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, they're going to be my surprise team this season. I think I think they could even get top 10.
My surprise package is Everton this year. I know I've just touched on them not ideally being good enough defensively, but if they can be organised at the back, they're plenty good enough going forward. Like I said, they've signed Moise Keane, Alex Iwobi. I think them two alone could gain them the extra few points to challenge Chelsea, challenge Man United, pushing for that top 6. And I do think they finish the best of the rest.
Yeah. I think they can. It's just if they will.
It's going to be down to defensive organisation. Alex Iwobi, if he plays on the wing, he will help out his fullbacks.
Yeah.
He always has done for Arsenal, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll do well at Everton as well.
Right, we're now going to drop. We're going to go a quick fire. 3 teams who are going up. We're not going to do relegations in the Championship, League 1 and League 2. So we'll start with the Championship. My 3 to go up will be West Brom, Leeds and Fulham.
I've got the same 3. I did write Derby down, but I changed my mind today for Fulham.
It's weird that, so did I. We'll go down to League 1. I'm going to go for Rotherham, Sunderland and Ipswich.
Exact same 3 again.
Yeah, nice. We're on the same wavelength here. And League 2, Plymouth. I know I keep banging on about Plymouth. Plymouth, too, I think Plymouth will win the league. Walsall, I think they'll go back up as well with Plymouth. And my third one, I know there's 4. I didn't realise this before I did the thing. There is 4 because it's top 3 and then playoffs. So I'm going to go Plymouth, Walsall, Salford, and then my 4th one, I'm going to go Carlisle. I think Carlisle will finish first. I think it'll be Plymouth, Walsall, Carlisle, and then Salford in the playoffs.
I've gone for Plymouth, Walsall, Mansfield, who I thought were unlucky last year. They lost in the playoff semis.
Yeah.
And I've gone for Swindon to sneak in through the playoffs. I think they could be strong this year.
Interesting. Well, we'll just have to see, pal, won't we?
Yeah.
Have to see. Premier League kicks off this evening. We're recording, like we say, we're recording this on the 9th. August the 9th, 2019. But they are the predictions for mine and Aiden's 2019-2020 Premier League season. And then, obviously, at the end, we did a few bits on the Championship. You're going to get a weekly show from us anyway, the Speculate to Accumulate, where we give what we think are the best tips for the weekend. So keep on them, and maybe check out the rest of the pods as well if you want to. But if you did enjoy this prediction, if you could give it a thumbs up on YouTube, or a 5-star review over on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, follow us over on Spotify, and hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, because they all help. But thank you very much, mate, for coming along today.
Pleasure.
Again. And you'll hear from us on the next Speculate to Accumulate. Peace.